Good evening and welcome to day 2 of the Committee of the Whole. Today is Tuesday, September the 23rd, and all are present with the exception of Councilor Parker, which has an excused absence. We'll go ahead and we'll jump right into the department presentations, and first up is the Police Pension Fund.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm new here. I don't know what I'm doing, so you're gonna have to walk me through this. This is my first time, so.
Oh, that's funny.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, so if you want to take us through as far as if there's anything new, different,
Okay.
lightning, anything that we should know of as far as 2026 goes?
Okay. So a couple changes right now. My salary went up from, I believe it was 5,400 to 10,000 for next year. Other than that, we have our salaries and wages. Everything else, I kept the same budget. Our salary and wages did go down slightly. As pensioners come off, that's why it fluctuates. There is a possibility still this year. We're working on our contract right now. So there's a possibility that total that you see could go up as well too.
By chance, do you know how many people came off?
I've only had one pass away this year.
Does council have any questions pertaining to the police pension fund?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
I noticed in both pension funds that there's $150,000 in projected adjustments. Can you explain that to me?
Are you talking about it? Tracy, can I lean on you to explain that, please?
Yes, sir. We had decided for both pension and fire that we are taking a reduction in the levy of $150,000 to help support the police department. Isn't that right, Beth? We did that for the police? The 300,000? Oh, it's for the park. I'm sorry. And actually, I do have a note. It says the parks. So we did that to help the parks because they really struggled with their budget for 2026.
Okay, Tracy, can you walk us back then as far as, is this unrelated to the fire pension? I know we have police presenting, and then we talked about parks.
It's actually, we took 150 from each because.
Of fire and police.
Because
Okay.
their levy, they have a generous levy, and even with
Okay.
using the 150,000 from each, they still have an addition to their cash balance.
Okay, so 300,000 went to Parks Department?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Purcell, do you?
Yes, so that levy's not limited in any way to its use?
Correct. And this would only be for 2026. It would not be forward, I do not believe. It would not go into 2027 or in the future, just for 1 year.
Okay, so it's not money that could go into maybe helping our police and firefighters in some way in their budgets?
It's a possibility in the future it could be used for that, but not for 2026.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tracy, is this standard practice? Has this happened before? Have we done this before?
Yes, we actually did this in 2025. We used some levy from motor vehicle highway to help support the general fund.
But not from police or fire?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We have not had this high of a balance in either the police or the fire pension fund. So that they have a good cash balance. Right now, the police pension fund, their cash balance with taking out the 150,000 is $1.76 million. Yes, sir. You have a question, I can tell.
It just doesn't quite make sense to me as to why you would be taking money from police and fire pension. What was the purpose of the money to begin with?
The money is part of their, through property tax, it comes through property tax, and then they also have a circuit breaker that affects that too. But over time, we have actually added to the cash balance. Last year, for example, in 2025, we added $347,000 to the cash balance,
Okay,
just the pension fund.
what was the fund, what's the fund there to be used for that? What was the purpose of the fund before? That
The
line
purpose of the
item
fund is for the police pension.
to fund it?
Yes.
Okay.
Couldn't you get yourself into a situation if the police needed that money?
Well, this is not something we would do if their cash balance could not
Right,
sustain it.
so
Right now,
support
there's $1.1 million with using the $150,000.
We have more than enough to support that, yes. That makes sense.
And fire, I believe, there,
Any cash, I'm showing 531,000.
Hopefully we're still increasing in '26, even after moving this out.
yes.
Sounds like an excess was put in there over the last 3 years.
Is it because people are dropping off the pension plan? Is that?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
just a philosophical thing here, and that is we're losing police and firefighters because of their base pays, and we're giving money to the Parks Department. It just doesn't make sense to me. But this has nothing to do with you, and I'm sorry you're stuck up here in the middle of this conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And currently, the fire pension is a cash balance of $531,000 with using the $150,000 for park.
Counselor Goss, do you have any follow-up?
No.
Council have any additional questions? Beth, would you like to come to the microphone? Beth Fields.
Hi. I would just add the city receives a maximum levy, so there is a large bucket of funding, and then it is up to the city to allocate those funds between the different funds that we have. So we receive a maximum pot of money, and then it is up to the controller and the administration to then assign that levy to the different funds. So it is a large pot of money, and then it is assigned based on the needs of each of those funds.
Oh, excuse me.
Mr.
Where is that reflected on here? Is that the pension relief line item?
No, the maximum levy is for the entire city. There's a maximum growth quotient that is applied to the revenue that the city receives, and that increase gives us a total overall money that we have to allocate to our various funds. And so in looking at the needs of each of the funds and what we need to balance each of those funds, then an amount is assigned to that individual fund. So when looking at the pension funds, they are very healthy funds. They are still gaining their cash balance. They are over the minimum cash balance that we typically need. The Parks Department was, with their levy amount, they were not able to have that amount of funding there without some allocating additional funds to the Parks Department.
So Beth and Mr. Engel, did you have any?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just a question, if the maximum was requested from a pension annually,
This is a maximum for the entire city. It's not a maximum by fund. So it's a maximum amount that's assigned to the city as a whole. So we apply, when we submit our budget, we submit that maximum levy amount allocated to various funds. In November, we receive what's called a 1782 notice, which shows what the State Department of Local Government Finance has assigned to each of those fund numbers. At that point, the city does have the option to reallocate those funds if the amounts that have been assigned don't match with what we had requested, or if something new has come to light since doing the budget that we need to pivot and assign those to another fund. We have that opportunity when that 1782 notice comes in November.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell.
I understand what you're saying, Ms. Fields, and thank you for that explanation. But if it's the case that it's coming in and is not assigned, why is it showing the deduction in this fund?
Because that is the amount that we had projected to go into that fund. So we have already advertised the budget. So that amount had already been assigned internally to that fund. And then now looking at making an adjustment when that 1782 notice comes to make that change from the pension fund to the park fund. That's why it's showing as an adjustment for 2026, because the budget has already been advertised with that levy amount being assigned to that fund. And as we look at the overall picture for the city, we're saying that we need to move that $150,000 from that pension fund to the park fund. So that's why it's showing in 26, because it's already been advertised as that specific amount. That's why it's showing as a deduction in 26.
I still understand, but philosophically, I am going to disagree.
Absolutely. No.
With that, because we have medics that I've been looking through the budget, trying to find a way to give them bonuses so that they stay in our city and they earn us money, and we're moving that money to the Parks Department. I have a philosophical issue with that, but thank you.
Absolutely.
And just as a reminder too, this isn't finalized, and
Yep.
we can
Thank
continue
you,
to make
sir.
adjustments. Any final questions for Police Pension Fund?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
I'm looking at the property tax line item 5104. It's going from $1,066,179 to $784,945, down $281,234. Is that because of the levy, the reduced?
No, it's not the levy, it's because of the HB1.
Okay,
Changes in the property taxes.
yeah, that's what I figured. Thank you.
Any final questions?
HB1.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank Ms. Beth.
Now I'd like to call the Fire Pension Fund forward.
Warm them up.
It's going to be a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
I think you got all the questions answered there.
Necessary.
So we cover 1937 fund members and their spouses. We currently have 21 retirees on this fund and 17 spouses for a total of 38. Last year, we had 46 budgeted, so we had some pass away, and that's why you'll see some reductions in those two line items. For my salaries, it was also increased to 10,000. That was matched for the police pension. We talked about it in the committee review, and Mayor Oler and the council members there suggested we keep those the same. So that is increased. The other increase you're going to see is in our physicals line item. Earlier this year, as you know, we had to ask for additional monies for that since the physicals increased from $1,700 per person to $2,300. We are still down some members and still have some retirees to, over the next couple of years. So we did increase that, and other than those two things, everything should be relatively the same.
I'm sorry, I should have had you state your name.
Yeah, Matthew Baker.
Matthew Baker. Okay. What questions do we have for the fire pension fund?
Mr. Baker,
Sir?
Chairman, you won't feel left out if I don't ask you the same questions, will you?
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
when the physicals, are retirees doing physicals once a year?
Nope, so we cover on those two line items, the retirees' pension, but we also cover new hires through these physical accounts. So anybody coming on to our department has to get a physical that's mandated by the state in order to get into the pension fund. So these are pension physicals. Also, if someone wants to go off on disability, we can send them for fit for duties, and that will also be a pension physical. So none of the actual retirees are using that line item.
Mr. Baker, the pension physicals are different than the fit for duty?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, the actual fit for duties are a lot cheaper. The pension physicals are for new hires, and it covers psych evaluation, stress tests, x-rays, and a whole gambit of medical tests, so.
Gotcha. Any other questions for the fire pension fund?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
I would like to note for the record that the same $150,000 reduction is in
What did he say?
the same reduction for $150,000 shows up in the pension fund for the fire department. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to call forward the police department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Kyle Weatherly with the Richmond Police Department. Our budget request is very similar to last year, starting with operations. You'll see some line items in a decrease, such as supplies, laboratory, postage, contractual printing, electric facilities, uniforms and accessories. Contractual services, we've increased just a little bit up, we increased from 35,000 to 45,000. That's going to cover all of our subscriptions and contracts throughout the year. And some of those I have here for the contractual services. We have course in Heavenly Homes testing for public safety, which is the company that we use for hiring processes, promotional processes, and then some of our mental health providers as well. So the 1,000s, I know we don't have a whole lot of control over. We will say that our overtime is staying where it is. We do project that our overtime will decrease as it has continued to decrease throughout the year. And then the 2,000 lines are some of the decreases that I have already talked about. It's also important to note in the 2,000 uniforms and accessories, that's projected to decrease for the simple fact that we are soon going to be fully staffed of 80 officers, which means that we won't have to make that initial purchase for uniforms and gear. So that is projected to decrease. We do have 3 members looking at retirement in 2026. So we will need to fill those positions at some point in time. And everything else is essentially the same as the 2025 budget request. So I am open to any questions as far as that.
What are the items that fall underneath technical services?
Technical services, we have businesses, the services include West Publishing, which is a service that we use to do some background investigations, our performance evaluations, TriTech, VCS, which is what we consider to be what we call POS, that is our scheduling. Leads Online, which is another service that we use for investigations for stolen property. Warrant Builder, our investigative services use that to simplify the warrant request process for different providers such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the companies that are very difficult to get information from. This helps them speed that process up with the needed language from those providers with the needed language from our courts. So that's included in there. We've got some service for the drones that we are expanding. Lexipool, which is another service that we use for investigative purposes. And then McLaughlin, another service that we use for investigative services.
What are some of the items in the contractual services?
Again, those are Corson, Heavenly Homes, Public Safety. We are able to get rid of what we refer to as the Drug Task Force rent. We are no longer in that Hawkins Road address, so we have gotten rid of that. And then listed here is psychotherapy. This is projected to go up for the mental health services for officers.
And that's reflected in the 45,000,
Yes, sir.
which is down from 104.
I believe so. Let me find my,
So is it the Hawkins Road that takes away a lot of that?
Hawkins Road takes away 1,300 of it. So this is the technical services, contractual services, and the subscriptions. And I can go through and I can list some of the subscriptions as well, as if you like.
I was just looking at the 3990, where it's 104,000 for the activity through 6/30, and it's budgeted for 45,000 for next year.
Correct. So that is just in the 45 is just in the contractual services.
But you've already used 104,000 through 6/30 in the 3990 in the contractual services.
Yes, sir.
So
What's the reduction?
what's the reduction in that?
There's going to be things that we are not paying for this year, which we know through many of the media outlets that the lawsuit was paid for through contractual services.
No, Chairman, in other words, you moved money over there, creating that 114. original budget was only 30.
There was some money moves, yes, sir.
35,000 initially.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Are you finished, Mr. Chairman?
I am. Do you,
Chief, I have a few questions, if I may.
Yes, sir.
The increase in investigators of 160,000, is there a specific reason for that?
We did add an additional investigator. The additional investigator would go, and this is being worked on through the contract as well. During negotiations, we are moving from 11 to 12.
Very good. And I had a question on the, excuse me, on the overtime, but you've explained that, and the fact that in 6 months you'd spent 305 and you're only budgeting 300 for next year.
Correct. And Major Dahl has done some research into the overtime itself. In 2024, we had 10,402 hours of overtime. We projected that it would go down in 2025 with the hiring of additional officers, which it has. And to date, when I say to date, September 1st, we have 8,039 hours, with a difference of 2,363 hours, which is a 22% decrease. So with that decrease, that is additional officers that have now been fully trained. Our staffing is at more manageable levels. We do have 3 officers in field training currently, which are expected to be finished with that training November, December timeframe, if all goes well. We have 3 officers that are set to go to the Law Enforcement Academy, and we have 1 additional officer that we are currently sending through NPERS for approval to be given a higher date.
Very good. And my other question, it isn't really a question, but isn't Lexipol your policies, procedures managers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Engel?
Chief, I'm looking at line item 1163, patrol officers, excuse me, which is budgeted to be up 422,750. Does that just reflect that you're more fully staffed?
Give me just 1 second, sir. You say 1163?
1163, right. Salary and wages patrol officers.
Does that include your SRO officers?
It should include the SRO officers, which is, give me just a second, I'll find it. We do have a line coming in from the schools of
Should be $400,000 in
Yeah.
2026.
400.
Where's that?
That's going to be 5612.
It's at the bottom. 5612 is $400,000 for 2026. Generated revenue on those 4 officers.
Okay. Right. It's not, it's 50, yeah, I'm sorry, 5612. The other question I had was on, let's see, where is it? Ammunition and targets, budgeting 35,000, but we're spending 60,000 this year.
That could be accurate. Was it this year or last year? Is it the hiring? So with the addition of the newer officers, we are using more ammunition and targets.
Okay, great, thanks.
Mr. Chairman?
Were you finished, Mr. Engel?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Purcell?
I'm sorry, Chief. I knew there was something on the second page I wanted to ask about, and that was property and liability insurance premium. You had proposed that in your initial meetings with us, and now you've zeroed that out. Is that moved?
That is an error on my part. It should say 192,000. I seen that a few minutes ago and just checked it.
Okay.
In fact, I'll give you the exact
That was easy.
number.
Yep, mine says 0 as well.
That was
Yep.
my bad. It's $192,966.79.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from council? Just a general comment, I still think we could gain on purchasing power through all the departments together. Hearing none, we'll move on to the capital request. Or, excuse me, animal.
Animals, yeah.
Excuse me, animal.
Yeah, come on over.
You have it, or do you want me to do it? Smaller.
Okay, so with this one, we did do some moving around, and the final numbers, we have, we're requesting 280,000, and then 120 for the, what is it, the other,
That was
CCD
not
other.
That's not animal.
That's not animal.
Oh, that's not the animal, okay. So let me find it.
Animal control stayed the same as it did in 2025. There was a slight difference. We took the revenue down from 700 to 200 for the pet license. I think Karen can tell you that there's not very many pets in Richmond.
Licensed.
Exactly, at least not licensed anyway. The cash flow actually had an impact of $100, so that was it. It's very small, and we lost $100 for 2026. That's it.
I apologize, I didn't have that one printed off.
That's all right.
So if we're losing money,
We lost revenue because of the pet license.
what questions does council
But
have?
everything else remained the same.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
pet ordinance violations, do we collect a lot on those, or?
So the simple answer is we don't collect a lot, we try.
We get as many as we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, and AJ kind of spoke about it a little bit yesterday. We do try.
Ms. Taylor?
Are they able to pay for their ordinance violations online?
I don't believe we have that set up just yet. I know there were conversations with the clerk's office where we were requesting a lot of it to be digital. We do have it built into our ticket system to where we can just write a digital copy and it'll be submitted to the clerk's office. I don't know if they are set up to receive those or pay for those just yet.
So you are on your end, we're waiting on the clerk's office if it hasn't been done.
If it's not been done, yes. I know we are trying to update that system the best that we can.
So just for clarity, this is if you get a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, you can pay it online?
I'm not going to say
Not sure.
yes, I'm not going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say I don't know because I have not had that conversation
Okay.
with the clerk on that.
Okay.
I know we've had conversations about trying to bring the system up to date and utilize the services that most everybody uses nowadays.
Did you have anything else? Did you?
Yeah, can we buy pet licenses online?
So, no, I don't believe we can buy pet licenses online, but,
We should.
yeah, Miss Durbin and Aaron Stevens have both gone above and beyond. They've found not just the city building to where you can purchase pet licenses. They've set it up to where you can buy those in different locations within the city as well.
Any final questions on animal?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
how much are pet licenses?
I think they're $25, if I remember correctly.
It's a function of the clerk's office, and it varies whether or not the pet is spayed or neutered. And that's all I remember from registering mine. It's less if you
I
prove your pet's spayed and neutered.
Any final questions on animal?
Not my dog.
All right, now we will go to leaf.
What are we on?
Next one in the line. And for those playing along at home, LEAF stands for,
Law enforcement aid.
Law enforcement what?
Aid fund.
Aid
Aid.
is what it has on the paperwork.
Aid,
just LEAF.
A bunch of money.
law enforcement aid, is what I have.
Okay.
All right, we'll edit that part out.
We forgot the F somewhere.
I need to add fund in there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
I can do that, well.
this is the bloopers reel. Okay, LEAF.
Yeah, Tracy, do you want to go ahead and get started on this one, and I'll find the paper on that one, because I don't know that I have that one printed either.
Okay.
They got a bunch of money.
Let's see here, on Law Enforcement Aid Fund, they get a miscellaneous income from the state. Sometimes it's for gun permits. I believe we got $29,000 recently on gun permits. We get from the state. And nothing has really changed. In fact, we had a decrease in internal affairs expense. I don't know why that was there. It's never been used.
so-
That went away.
All right, thank you, sir.
So currently, we have an increase. Bring the cash balance up to $143,000 due to the miscellaneous income revenue. That's all we have. This account does draw interest income, and so it should be about $2,000 a year is what they get.
Can you restate where some of the sources of the miscellaneous income come from?
I cannot access that information from here.
So it's a fund that gets money from somewhere, and it has $2,000 worth of interest every year and is spent on.
There is actually nothing listed for an expense currently.
And what is the current balance?
The current balance for that fund is $143,560.16.
Are there any restrictions of use?
Not that I'm aware.
What questions does council have for LEAF?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
I'd like to know, what's it for? Or, I mean, what does the LEAF officers or LEAF does? Is it drug enforcement?
So it could be a number of things. It could be monies coming in from firearms licenses, because we still do get a little bit of that. It could be monies coming in from LexisNexis, where we are getting money for crash reports. So it's probably just small funds like that are coming in. We don't actually use those as expenditures.
Okay. So the money is basically just sitting there?
Correct.
I can't get to the detail.
Any other questions pertaining to LEAF?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
I think this question was answered, but there's no restrictions on expenditure.
Not that she knows.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on LEAF? Okay, moving on to continuing education. I see gun permits are on there.
That's the 29,000 we actually received. It was deposited on 9/4, and we get that once a year sometimes. The state doesn't guarantee that we get anything for gun permits. We get it when it shows up.
Some also go into LEAF as well.
We don't do many gun permits anymore. I'll get a handful every couple weeks. It's few and far between.
Most of the funds sell of public records. That's LexisNexis, if I'm not mistaken. They pay us whenever a person asks for public records, they pay LexisNexis, and then they reimburse us. And that's what you see as part of the revenue for sale of public records.
Is continuing education separate from overtime pay?
Yes.
So continuing education would be training manuals.
Yes, most of the expense in this fund is for training. It's $50,000 a year, and as you can see, as of 6/30, they had already used $21,000. So this is a used fund. There's not money just sitting there.
So does council have any questions on continuing education or comments? Right, hearing none, we will move on to criminal just, or crim just.
So there weren't really any changes in this one as far as the criminal justice goes. It's all pretty much the same, if I remember correctly.
What would supplies in criminal justice be?
Probably not much of anything. So it would be just office supplies.
And this sounds like a silly question, but this training in criminal justice is different than the training that we just discussed in the last?
All training is all law enforcement related.
Any questions as it relates to criminal justice?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
we're not doing, excuse me, we're not doing Operation Pullover.
No, we are still doing that.
Okay. But there's nothing in the budget here. Is that budgeted somewhere else?
That is a separate line, and give me just a second, and we'll,
3222.
yeah, it's a separate line altogether.
Operation Pull-Up, yeah, it's 3222, right?
Yeah.
Let me see.
TUA task force.
there's,
Will we
But
need,
there's-
will
yeah.
need money in that?
there's no money in there.
So there's no money in there, and I'm going to say, and this could be answered a little bit better by Tracy if I'm off on this. That is a reimbursement grant. So what that is the hours that the officers work for the operation pullover and the seatbelt blitzes that we do. We will pay out our overtime budget for that. At the end of that blitz, and that's what we're working right now, or what we refer to as the blitzes. At the end of that, we will submit paperwork back to the Criminal Justice Institute for the hours worked, and they will reimburse us the monies that we paid out of our overtime to cover that cost.
Chief, how often do we do the blitz?
So with 2025, and CJI does what is a fiscal year. They run from October until September. So for 2020, the fiscal year 2025, we did, if I remember correctly, 4 blitzes where we did saturated patrols for different things, whatever CJI has that blitz covering. Some of it is impaired driving, some of it is distracted driving, others is seat belts. So whatever that blitz is that's what we're working.
Okay. And we do not have officers out on I-70?
No, we do not.
Thank you.
Any other questions for criminal justice? Hearing none, we'll move on to CCD.
So with CCD, we did request quite a bit. We requested 400,000. We are switching that up a little bit. In the new paperwork, we are doing 280 for cruisers and 120 for other equipment.
What is other equipment?
So other equipment is going to be lights, sirens, all that good stuff.
As it relates to the cruiser?
Yes.
Yep.
That way we can outfit the police vehicle.
How many cruisers is this?
So this is going to be roughly 5.
That will be needed in 2026?
Correct.
Chief, then 280,000 will buy 5 cruisers, and the 120,000 will equip them. Is that enough money to equip those 5 cruisers?
So yes, altogether, we may be able to get 5 or 6 vehicles out of this. It takes right around 50,000 to purchase the vehicle, and then it takes about another 10,000 to outfit it with everything. So we're looking at 5 or 6 vehicles that we're going to be able to do with this.
And is that enough vehicles for the police department?
No.
No.
How many do you need?
We need at least 8. I continue to work with the mayor's office. They have been great to us for 2025 and 2024. So we will continue to work and try and get those funds. I continue to talk with people and think outside the box on trying to get vehicles that are going to be able to be used in our fleet. It's a constant battle. The fleet has been neglected for some time, and we continue to try and get that back up to where it needs to be.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I believe in 2024, we were able to use ARPA funds and buy 16 police vehicles.
Correct.
And kind of get overstocked because we had the extra ARPA funds. when I came into the office, I was presented with 5 vehicle requests from department heads and other departments, and I was able to pare that down to 3 with shuffling retirements, and even that money went into more police cars. 2025, we also had a big problem for long. There was a big gap of getting Ford Explorers for like 8 months. You just couldn't get them because they couldn't get chips. So, but we were able to buy quite a few and really jumped ahead in '24.
I do have a question, if you don't
ma'am.
mind. Some of the extra money from pension, can that be used for something like this? Because you have.
I haven't looked at the restrictions on what that can be spent on, so I don't know if that's something that could be spent on that.
I would just personally think if it's part of the police department, that it would be used for police. Since it was used for parks, I figured that it could be moved to help with something like this.
It could be used for the police department.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
I know, Chief, you and I have had this discussion before on the rotation of your vehicles, and from the start, you've always said you need 8 a year. And getting ahead doesn't help tremendously because you still run into a situation where they only last so many years. That just increases the need that year. I still support buying 8 a year for the police department and would like to see that funded as a proper rotation of your vehicles.
Thank you, sir. And I do appreciate that. And yes, we were able to do wonderful things with the mayor's office in 2024 and 2025. We do have a problem. We are fully staffed and we'll need at least 80 police cars. We didn't have that coming in. So we continue. We have some that are on its last leg that we keep putting Band-Aids on. So we need to make sure that we are doing our part as far as making sure that we have vehicles that are safe for the officers out there.
Yep. And we support that as a council.
All right, thank you.
So what number are we at right now fleet-wise? How many cars?
Fleet-wise, yeah, 90s. Yeah, and that's everything.
Including trailers?
That's all that's on our fleet that we consider fleet.
And that does include what we refer to as pool cars. Those are just extra cars that we have down at the garage for when one of ours is either in an accident or needs repaired.
Yeah, now how many of that is cars?
Yeah, as far as that goes, I would have to get a number for you.
Okay.
We could look it up in our records system
Yeah.
and get you an actual number of cars compared to everything.
Yeah.
So I can get a number to you.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
how many years of frontline use do you try to get out of a car, Chief?
So we try to get 5. And these are not driven like everyday cars. They are run hard at times. There are idle times. So it's a little bit harder on the engines. So we try to maintain them the best that we can, keeping good service records. But they are ran a little bit hard. So we do try to get every bit of service year out of it before we have to put it down to either be a pool car or go to auction.
Thank you.
Any final questions on CCD?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
we do not have motorcycles or bicycles. We don't use those at all.
So we do still have bicycles. Officer Stevens is in the process of trying to get the bicycle program back up and going. Now that our numbers of officers are back up, that may be more of an option for the warmer months. So I know he is going to training. I don't think he's been yet, but I think it's his training lapsed because they just hadn't been used. So I know he was going to go for recertification. So we do still have bicycles. They're just not being used at this time.
Didn't we at one point have those three-wheeled motorcycles or whatever you call them?
Yeah, those were gone prior to 2024. I recall having a conversation, and those, I believe, were leased
seen
at
it for a
at one point in time.
Okay,
But they are gone.
thank you.
Any other questions for CCD? Hearing none? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now I'd like to call forward the fire department.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Very welcome.
Good evening, council members.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Jeff Kinder, Chief of Richmond Fire Department. The Richmond Fire Department remains committed to our core mission, protect lives, property, and the environment through emergency fire, EMS, fire prevention, and community education. As we continue to meet these growing and evolving needs of our community, this budget reflects our focus for maintaining a high standard of service, improving operational readiness, and investing wisely in our personnel, equipment, and facilities. We recognize the importance of fiscal responsibility, and we've worked diligently to present this budget that balances critical needs with realistic constraints. We look forward to working collaboratively with the council to ensure our department remains prepared, resilient, and we continue to meet the expectations, safety needs of our community we serve. The budget that I'm presenting is my 2,000 accounts. We did some reduction in some fleet parts of $10,000, but we increased in my 2410 account of $3,000, and that's for, we're installing cameras. We've put cameras in so far in Station 5, Engine 5 parking lot, the pole barn parking lot, the training center, and inside the training center, and we're working on putting outdoor cameras on the parking lots of all the stations. Gas and diesel accounts pretty much stayed on par. On vehicle parts, we reduced that a little bit as well in the 2,000 accounts. It's pretty much where we in 24, when I did the budget, I saw a lot of the needs and shortfalls that we'd had in the 23 and 22 budgets, and the corrections we made and got passed, we're on par to be okay for 26. For 25 and 26. My 3,000 accounts, physicals, fire department physicals, there's no change. That's a contracted service, which we'll have to renegotiate. My contractual services, I know last night I listened to AJ talk about the backlog. We sent 24 contracts over this week that they're working on for us to prepare for next year. So, I mean, I understand what they were saying about contractors. Our telephone increased a little bit, $1,400 from our 24 budget, our 25 budget. Travel increased $500 just because of increased cost. There's no change in my printing. The electric, heat, the sewer fees went up $250 on the year. We increased our water 3540 account, our water up to $150 upon 25's numbers. We did see a decrease in our stormwater of $1,200. It was overfunded, and we just decreased that back to where we've been charged for the last 12 months. So, in repair equipment, we asked for a $3,000 increase because we take care of all the tornado sirens, and all the batteries have to be changed next year, and it's a $6,200 cost to the fire department because we service the sirens that you hear every Wednesday. There was first Wednesday, second Wednesday of the month, and we've been told all the batteries have to be changed, and that's a $6,200 extra expense. There was a reduction in some vehicle cost. A subscription increase in my 3910 accounts of $4,000 over 2025 because we've added the dash cams because all the fire trucks and command vehicles have dash cams in them now, and there's a cloud system that we pay for. We decreased the training budget from 70,000 back to 60,000. We spent a lot of money this year on training. We just graduated 15 new hazmat techs, 15 new rope techs, and confined space has been done. I still need water rescue, divers, and outside training I need instructor 2, 3s, and also other trainings that we need to send out for investigators because we're so new. I figured out by the time the end of this year, first next year, I've hired 27 new members since 2024. So we're definitely going through that. The good news, as far as the hiring goes, I just sent 6 members to pension today. We'll get back, and then we should be down 3 by October 27th. But there will be 12 of those members starting firefighter 1 and 2 class that will run through October till December, and they will come online at the end of December. And then I expect there's 3 members in the drop program that we've not sure if they're extended yet for next year. And so that puts me down about 6, but right now we've got 53 applications upstairs that we're working on. And our physical agility test is this weekend for those folks to get through the agility test part of it. So that's my 2003 accounts and out of the fire side. As far as overtime goes, last year we budgeted for a little over 1.5, and that was reduced down to 1.1, and we're on par probably to spend the 1.5. Next year with the full staffing, we think that the 1.1 is a better number, and we're hoping that by May of next year we're fully staffed and trained. That's fire officer 1 and 2. I've got 9 guys. I got to go fire officer January 1st. I got to get fire officer through those 9 guys. I've got 7 guys in medic school right now. So that's the good news stuff. So, but that's out of the 2,000 and 3,000 accounts. You guys got a question about those accounts?
So the $275,000 reduction in overtime is because you're fully staffed?
I think by next year, early next year, we will be fully staffed. Like I said, at the current trend that we are, like I said, I've hired 6 in the last 3 months, and I've got 6 through pension today that just got sent off to pension. So they're going to come online on the 27th. Now, they won't come on they'll come online and go straight to training because we've not put them in the system yet. They'll go straight into the training. They'll be firefighters, but in training for their 8-week firefighter 1 and 2 class. And the first 6 that come on have already, 4 of them have already went through their EMT school. 2 of them are at OFA right now in EMT school. They'll come back in October. So we're trying to strategically get this thing all in the right place and training, and it's a juggling job right now, what we're dealing with.
So we're currently looking at 630 numbers, and the contractual services.
Which one is number?
3990. What are some examples of what would be in contractual services? So it looks like you budgeted 155.
Yeah.
And to 630, you had spent 71.
And we still haven't paid, here, I got it, right here. Our ESO software comes out of that. It goes up about 4 or 5% a year. I think the bill was $46,000. We're budgeting for almost $50,000 for next year on that. Our Central Square, our Lexipol, our dispatch software, our contract services with the city attorney and all the things that we do with him, all of our insurance for our drone team, Chief Moore ladder testing, our SDB maintenance contract with them, our pump testing contracts come out of that because we have this all done annually. I think I looked at this number today to see how much we had left, and I think right now that's already spent. It's not on your system yet, but it has been marked. We have about $17,000 left. Finish the year.
You mentioned dispatch and kind of a stupid question. none of that is the same software that
No.
others?
No. No.
Is it still current that the fire department uses joint share of the IT person that the police department uses?
Well, that right now, because in the last union contract, he was, in the 24 contract, he was not part of the contract. It was a position created before I became the chief. And there was another separate contract, because he's still a firefighter. That person was still a firefighter, which is covered under the 1408 contract. But he had a contract outside the 1408 contract that he was shared with RPD, and RPD was supposed to pay half. They paid 1 month, and it never happened. So since he's in the union contract, since he's in our contract as a non-exempt employee under his position, we're ending the contract. We've talked to Tracy and Finance to make that position 1% above a lieutenant for rank, his first pay scale, and he will be our sole IT person. And I have enough work with Lexipol policies, and we want to digitize our department. We're trying to get away from paper and start digitizing our records, and I have enough work for him, for us, with all the other things that he does, because he's the backbone of us. I mean, he's very important to us.
So the police will no longer use him. And then does he have any collaboration with our own IT department?
Yes, yes, they're in communication, and every
But
time.
not under, he's a firefighter, not a,
Right, he's under our umbrella as a firefighter. It's a firefighter position, but he does communicate with IT very well, and they have a pretty good working relationship. And we've had meetings with Tracy already, IT Tracy already, about this situation, how to make this, because when he goes on the system, you know, there has to be communication.
yeah. The next question I have, I know we have talked in the past, hazmat, and you had ordered the gear that was budgeted for 2025, and you followed up and you have ordered that.
It's all been delivered. All the gear is the hazmat. The hazmat team is operational, and all the gear is on the truck. We're still waiting on some monitoring equipment. I think it's about $9,000 cost that we're still waiting on, but that money has been well spent and well used. And like I said, as of now, like I said, the hazmat tech course was about 6 weeks ago. They went through, and now we're back full operational with that. And we have a new vehicle that pulls the trailer, and we've updated that as well.
So Richmond Fire Department has a hazmat team.
Well, we are the team. I mean, the team aspect of it, yes, because we're still looking at that as a different animal, because when you call 911 for any kind of situation, we respond. The battalion gets there, and if they need the vehicle, which has all the hazmat equipment on it, then he will request it be brought to the scene. And those techs, if it deems we need techs, there's techs on the department that's what they'll be used for. All the other members of the fire department that aren't in the technical level are in the operational level. So they're there to assist them as well, because we are hazmat ops awareness, and then you have the technical level, which is above that. But when you're in the operational level, you're actually assisting the tech level if they did decon in the suits, all those things.
And so
And if the county needs us, we'll go, and yes.
and we can continue that offline. I know we had talked about that in safety committee. I also know that one of the training chiefs had talked about how there was some older or discontinued gloves, supplies that were on the trucks. Has that all been addressed?
Yes,
through the
all that's
26
been
budget?
addressed. It's the hazmat vehicle now sits in the pole barn, in a heated pole barn. It's plugged in, all the stuff is taken care of. And like I said, it was left outside for a couple of years during COVID, and things just got set aside, and we're slowly fixing those problems.
I would like to follow up in another meeting about special teams and
Well,
about.
what we've been discussing, and I mean, like I said, I'm an open book. What we've been discussing is all the aspects of, instead of having a hazmat team, a confined space team, a rope rescue team, we have a response team that all facets are covered. So if they do need, they all come, because like I said, a hazmat situation still may need rope and recs because of the situation they have to go into. So you'll need a rope team there. You know what I mean? we're looking at ways to expand on that, but we're just not there yet.
Yeah. What questions does,
How many of the firefighters have been trained in the hazmat?
We have 15 techs now.
15?
Yes.
So what you're talking about is doing cross-training with rope.
Well, a lot of these guys are doing, because we train with ropes all the time, they do all the training with ropes, but some guys are certified. So if they have to do a rappel off a building, you know, there's certain certifications and harnesses and all the ropes and all the stuff. There's technical things that they have to do from the technical level. So, like I said, and that's what the extra training has been for, is to get, you know, we all have baseline trainings, but it's
Right.
when we go above that, that's where this training is at right now.
and I think, Dr. Wright, that Safety Committee needs to continue diving into that as far as the teams go, ropes, water rescue, confined space.
Confined, yeah.
I mean, I'm right now working on training, getting instructor for dive for next year. That's one of the things I'm working on. But swift water rescue has changed. There's prerequisites that they have to do before they can go to swift water rescue. So there's a lot of steps that we have to go through to make sure we're doing all those things correctly too.
I know we had talked in the Safety Committee meeting about we had the wrong kind of, we being Richmond Fire Department, had the wrong kind of rescue boat.
We have, and that thanks to Belden, because when I come upstairs 2 years ago, we were going through finances and we found that there was, out of the $100,000 donation from Belden, there was still $17,000 left in that account. And we used that and we bought a 14-foot inflatable metal deck rescue boat that's transportable. They can lift it off the trailer easily. They can pull it through 3 inches of water. It's got a 30-horse motor on it and it's very mobile.
So we now have the right
Yeah.
boat.
Yes.
We got a boat,
We got a boat.
got a Navy.
What other
Hey,
questions?
we've been hard at it. I mean, everywhere we can find it and scratch
Very
for it,
good.
we're doing it.
Very good.
What other questions do we have for fire?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Engel?
I'm looking at line item 3401, property and liability insurance premium.
Yeah.
Budgeted 74,297 for this year, 192,973 for 63.
I would
for
have to
next
lean with Tracy on that.
That is a continuation of the error I found earlier, which that's the 192 that should have been. This should actually be 133. $133,650,144. There's still an increase, it's just not as much.
So Tracy, it's going from 74 to 133.
Yes. That's the correct number there.
And why is that?
It was a king error on my part. It
Well-
looks like a line was missed.
But I mean, it's almost doubling. or it is-
One of the reasons that it has went up is because fire, it has to do with claims,
With what?
the number of
Claim?
claims.
Oh, claims.
Yes.
Okay.
Within the department?
Yes. It has to do, they run a 3-year average claim percentage and base the rates upon that, and that looks like the 2026 commercial package contribution should be for, and this is for fire and EMS, so it should be split.
So
That's
are-
probably what the difference is you're seeing.
Is it safe to say that these are for injuries
It's for property and liability.
Does this have to do with?
for accidents?
Yes.
Vehicle?
That 133 is split between the fire fund and the EMS fund.
Also, one of the questions that I had as it related to the IT position, has that been passed through both human resources and law as well?
We've all been in the same room about that, and about any of the contractors, we have to give 2-week notice to the Board of Works, I believe, that we're in the contract. I've been in contact with Tracy, Sherry, and HR. We've all been in the same room, and how it's just changing, it's not adding a position to the fire department, but it's changing a firefighter, because he was under a different pay scale, which would have been a firefighter pay, but now he's going into an IT, which is deputy chief, and we put him 1% above a lieutenant rank, so he actually sits right above a lieutenant rank.
But specifically, has Ms. Cox reviewed that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
Am I to assume then that that is where the increase is coming on the battalion chief line item?
I have to look at that, where they put it, because we were asking them to, in the salary ordinance, where to put that as,
Well, your battalion chief line item has gone up,
$8,100.
yeah, 81.
That's probably 'cause
No,
of
that
rate.
wouldn't be it. Never mind.
it's because of raises next year, I assume, and their longevity.
But you don't know where you're plugging him in yet. Okay.
Because he was already under the 85 of the local 14-0 contract, but he was paid outside that contract by a different contract. And we're just ending that contract and sliding him back in. Yes, it's confusing.
So
It's not restructuring, it's just trying to solve that other contract problem.
am I seeing this correctly? On 2375, you don't have any money budgeted for turnout gear with all the new,
The turnout gear is, we've moved all of our turnout gear into our EMS 4490 account.
why the move?
Because last year, the turnout gear was part of our CCD money last year, and it was removed, and we just decided to use EMS money for all those things.
Is that the same with 2376 hazmat supplies?
Hazmat supplies is, I think we cut it down to $4,000. That's kind of what we bring in every year, and that covers our spag sorb, and it buys our absorbent for car wrecks and all that stuff. It's a recycling course, because we get to charge for that to our MVA. When we have an MVA and we get to charge their insurance, and if we use spag sorb or some kind of absorbent, we can recoup those costs, and that's where that money goes, into that account.
There's no money listed there.
There is no money listed in 2376, which is hazmat.
Yeah, because we talked about it is, well, the hazmat, the account we used last year, and I have to, under hazmat, I don't have that number.
Yeah, there's no number.
Hazmat is 2238. Has its own fund.
Yeah, we didn't use that before. It was a different account that we used hazmat. And I don't have
Now,
that,
if
my
you
numbers
look
in
at
front of me.
hazmat 2238, you'll see their budget.
That's the 4,000 in revenue that you, for charges of services that you use for your,
Hazmat, that's what we use that for.
Do you buy uniforms and accessories predominantly in the second half of the year?
Through
6/30, you've spent 5,100.
right.
And your budget at 30,000.
The hazmat uniforms were paid after,
This is 2413
Oh.
uniforms and accessories.
out of the other.
Every new hire, we buy 3 sets of T-shirts, sweatshirts, pants, 3 sets of pants, coats. So I'm getting ready to hire 6 more. There'll be 6 more of those coming off that. We also use out of that for Class As. Once they get their year on, we buy their Class A, which is their full dress uniform. That's about a $600, give or take, cost. So all those guys that were hired in early '24 are coming, have gotten their year on. We're buying those as well. We're trying to, since we've had a big turnover of people, we've trying to take some of the Class As and restripe them to fit firefighters, but if they don't fit, we have to buy new.
So I'm confused because if you said you hired a lot of new, and through June 30, you've spent $5,100 out of the 30,000. So did those new people not get?
Well, I haven't got the bill from, because our battalion chief, our battalion chief that manages the Class A uniforms, he's the one that gives us the cost if he has to order them. So when those costs come, he sends us up. We just haven't had, I think he's been trying to recycle some of the Class As to save money, but I haven't dug into how many he has to order for now and the rest of the year. But I do know we're getting ready to hire, the 6 new will start here in October. We'll be buying 3 sets of everything per person, and those cost too.
Do you need, I am confused. Do so you don't need the 30,000 for 26?
Well, I do, because next year, when we're in 26, all these people who it's hired in 25 will get all the Class A uniforms.
But are they just walking around with nothing on?
No, no, there's their fire department uniforms that we give them,
But you
3
said
pair of
t-shirt
pants,
and
3
sweatshirt.
shirts, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then, once they get a year on, they also get acquire their Class A, which is our full dress. That's the hat, coat, tie.
Right, and you just haven't been billed through June 30 for?
Not yet. I'm still waiting, because like I said, as these guys get their year on, which we're getting guys getting their year on, they get their Class A. I just haven't had him tell me exactly how many Class As we have to, if he can recycle some. Because even we recycle, we have to send them out and take stripes off, change buttons, colors.
Sure.
All those things. There's cost to that, which goes out of that fund as well.
That's, I'd like to know who the supplier is, if somebody who gives you the stuff and then doesn't bill you.
No. Well, yeah.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. But I haven't looked at that exact account, because that's, I mean, the uniforms, no one's, when they don't come to me and say, hey, we're out of money in that account, you got, like I said, I watch it, but that's not one of the top accounts that I'm paying attention to every day. As, like I said, we're hiring all these people, and I said, even we hire this year, and then I have 3 openings plus probably 4 or 5 next year, it's 8. I know I'm gonna hire 8, right, probably out of the top next year as well.
So what can be done differently with the property and liability if for these other line items of $74,297, and then what's budgeted is $192,973, there must be either damage or accident of vehicles. I mean, that something significantly happened to where they would raise that premium.
Well, in 2024, we had a total, an ambulance totaled. We've had, in 2024, we had a couple accidents in 2024. 2025, so far, so good. They have raised our deductible on the ambulances and fire trucks. And so we're aware of that. Hence, that's why we've got cameras and analytics in the trucks now, because it tells you how fast you're going. I mean, we can pay attention to all those things, and the cameras are a great training exercise, because we've caught 4 or 5 structure fires, and we get to see it happen in real time for them. I mean, not real time, but it's recorded time. But also, if they, if they're speeding too fast, we get notifications. So it's a way we can address trying to be a little more proactive with some of those issues that we're solving that problem.
I mean, that is really significant for,
We are emergency services, and we do emergency things.
I know,
Things
we
happen,
might
but
need a training line for driving, possibly. Okay. What other question? Mr. Mayor, do you have something?
I was going to say, just remember that's a 3-year rolling average, so there's a lot of history there.
That's a lot of money.
Eventually, it'll change.
Yeah.
Because those analytics with those cameras, it's pretty awesome. It tells you real time if they're speeding. You can tell them to slow down. Be careful. So in
Any other
2 or 3
question?
years, that'll drop a lot.
I
Mr.
think
Chairman,
it's, like I said,
Mr.
it's a
Engel.
proactive approach in trying to, it's a 2-tier. We get.
Sure.
Because on the other part of it is too, also, the cameras do catch some things, that people can tell you something, and then you catch it, the camera, if you're out in front of the trucks and the ambulances, you catch stuff like that too. So there's no voice recording on our cameras. It's just video only. But and like I said, the battalions, since we've installed that in the last 5 months, I think we've had 4 or 5 good structure fires where they've used the analytics and the camera footage and and to do critiques, and uses the training as well. So a lot of the guys seem to enjoy watching the real time or the replay of the fires and what they can do better for training and reading smoke and all the things that come along with fire.
Mr. Engel?
Chief, I just wanted to check the salaries and wages for engineers, firefighters, and lieutenants. Those increases reflect, is it the fact that you will be hired up
Well,
and their
no,
raises?
we always budget for 80, they budget for 85, and I mean, as far as the members go. I think this has the raise for next year's raise built into that, because they signed a 2-year 9% increase, so it was 4.5% the first year, and next year would be 4, and I think 0.38, it's not quite 4.5, because it wasn't compounding.
So it was 3 years and it's 4.5?
It was in 25, they signed a 9% contract for 25, so 4.5% in 25. And then it's not quite 4.5 for 26. It's more like 0.38, I believe, because it wasn't compounding,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
yeah. Okay, so that's what those increases reflect.
Yes.
Okay. And then my other question, line item 1196, it says salaries and wages. It's 45, for next year, 45,643.52. Is that civilians?
Without looking at it, yeah, I think so. I would have to ask.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions before we move on to EMS?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Purcell?
Yeah. The cameras are a great idea, for sure, but I do have a question, and that is there a review committee when there is an accident?
Yes, it's under the review board, but also there's, if an accident happens, Jamie's in charge of that right now. He responds to the scene, and if there's injuries or any kind of things that's liability-wise, the data card is pulled, it's sealed and reviewed. And if it's a police matter, it becomes evidence as well. So yes, that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
And as administration, we do review, we do pull certain videos just to make sure we're doing the right things on responses and stuff like that. So from the administration point, myself and the assistant chiefs and training chiefs and the EMS chief, we can pull video and make sure we're following the proper procedures and rules as far as our driving goes.
And the safety officer also responds to those calls, Michael Whitberg.
Yes.
Any final questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Engel?
Overtime, as of June 30th, it was 695, 620, 28. And you said we're on track to hit 1.5
Well,
million?
because we've been down 14 people half of the year, there's been enough salary savings, and some of that has been moved to cover overtime. But we still have 4 pay cycles left, and we've been spending about, I just checked yesterday, I think our last cycle was 104,000 we spent last cycle, which was down from 145 the cycle before. So, so if you figure another four pay cycles at 100,000 a cycle, we're looking at another $400,000 in overtime.
Okay. And so you're budgeting 560 for next year?
Right, that's out of the fire side, but we also are budgeting 583, I think, or 539 out of the EMS side.
Okay. Okay, thank
And
you.
our goal is, like I said, next year, hopefully that the trend's down, because it's been trending up for a long time, and we're hoping it trends the other way.
And fully staffed, you still,
There's always going to be a little bit overtime because of vacations and trainings, and you've got 9 medics in school that get overtime for every time they do a ride time. When they're on their time, we pay them to go through, when they're in hospital time, they're getting paid overtime. When they're doing the ride time, they're getting overtime. So there's always going to be some overtime, but as far as our daily staffing overtime, hopefully we can trend that down a lot. I know it's very important, and we're working hard and diligent as we possibly can to fix that.
Me, Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
is it okay if I explain to him a little bit? The way we're set up is that we can cover 2 men per shift in overtime. And there can be up to 3 men off. And in the vacation months in the summer, you'll have all 3 off. So that's, every day, every work day for that shift, you're paying 1 overtime person during the summer months. Winter months, no. And we have calculated out over the years that the two-man coverage is the best place to be instead of hiring more personnel. Is that,
That's why we actually rerun right now. It's just, we haven't been we haven't seen fully staffed since 2013, 2014. It's been a while. And we're working, like I said, we're working very hard to fix that.
All right. Why don't we move on to E EMS?
As far as the EMS goes, the 2310, 2410, there's no changes in those accounts. The 2411 EMS supplies, which that's the big one. That, wrong page here.
Can you explain what EMS response fees are?
Let me get to, what number are you on?
5139.
That's what we bring in, that's our 5,000 account, that's what we charge, and that's the money that comes in from our fees for, as our billing process goes, which we have changed billing companies, and the old billing company, they were charging us 6.5% as cost to have them do our billing, and we've switched companies, and we've got it at a lower rate at 4.5, but we're working out the bugs right now because like anytime you change something of that nature, you got to get the hospital software and our software built to make sure it all talks together and makes it smooth as possible. So once we get those bugs work out, we'll address that, the other parts of that coming.
That is why the reduction of the 586?
Well, there was because there was 2 months in there that when the other billing company contract was being ran out, they was going to charge us 8% for that 60 days, 2 months. And the other billing company stepped in and took over that, but they had to hold it up for 90 or 60 days. So we should be getting that, those funds should be coming and released. I mean, they held them until, because we're in that transition period from old to new, and there's still bills coming in from this side and this side trying to get them all here. And then, like I said, it's starting to change. It's there. It's just, it's not fluid yet.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean? It's just a software and timing and.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Purcell?
But you're projecting a 586,000 decrease in income next year.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what, we actually.
According to this.
That's what you're projecting, $586,050.98 reduction.
We actually
in
was
income.
projecting about a $50,000 increase from our last year's numbers. That's what I said, like I
You're
said.
showing in '25 a projection of
I can,
about 4 million, and you're showing in '26 3.4 million.
well, that's what we brought in for last year, was 3.4. Between EMS and MVAs was 3.4. So we based our numbers, because with the transition, we based the numbers on the same numbers for this year, but we expect another $50,000 increase in savings from the numbers, because our run volume is the same, and collection rates are the same, nothing's changed.
Well,
Hold on, I can,
Why is the money changed?
So,
yeah, it should be increased. I don't know.
so it should be $4 million.
Yeah,
Well, you're showing about 3.4 for this year, at the rate that you had collected at 6/30/25. And you say that there are about 2 months in there lost that'll be behind, that'll be slow.
Correct. So Nick RBS, Chief of EMS. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
evening.
So with MediCount, I believe that we collected about 3.4 million last year. So that's kind of what we projected again, was 3.4 million. Now going into that as well, you've got other school fees and every other revenue coming in on top of that. But for MediCount, we received about 3.4 million. We billed for 4.2, but we get back, you can only get so much out of Medicare and Medicaid. So with that, we have this 2-month lapse of the transition. So with that, we're saving $53,000 a year by switching to this new billing company. But in the meantime, it really should be 50,000. I don't know what the exact budget was for.
as of 6/30 of 2025, we collected a little over $2 million, almost 2.1 million in collections at the halfway point that was in 25.
Which is on target for what you had for 25. But this year, you're down quite a bit, and that's that 2 months lapse, I
Yeah,
take
there's
it.
2 months in there that
But
they're
you're only
holding it.
budgeting that same 3.4 for next year.
Correct, yes. So those 2 months, they didn't have the HDE connection established with Reed to be able to share your patient demographics and everything like that. So we've had to basically, for every face sheet, we've had to basically attach it to our charts, then they get it that way. So it's a slower process. So that's why we haven't been able to get the funds back into the account as of right now.
And that's being worked on between Reed and.
Mr. Chairman, may I continue?
The handoff better.
Yeah, Mr. Purcell.
But, so are we projecting 3.4 large reduction for next year?
So the 3.4 is what we got last year from Medicare, Medicaid. That's what my impression was. Am I wrong on that, Tracy?
Yes. I was told the revenue, and I asked multiple times because it made no sense to me by using a new company, getting a better rate, that we would reduce our revenue. So I did ask multiple times.
So the number
And
that
was
I
giving the
got-
Yeah, this is-
3.4 as revenue, and you were solid behind it and said that's what it's gonna be, so that's
So
what it
the
is.
3.4 was what we were, the numbers that we were given from Medicare?
Yes.
Or, I'm sorry, from Medi-Cal. That's what the numbers, the revenue that showed. I don't see what you got in your account, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, for 2026, you were projecting 3.4. It should have been more.
Sure.
Is what I'm saying.
the number that we got from Medicare saying that this is what you profited was 3.4 was the number that we saw. So that's
So you just carried the 2025 numbers over into 2026.
plus the 50, 53,000 that we'd be saving is what the number that it should be.
Okay. If I'm with,
No sense.
yeah.
The 3.4 is with, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go
I've had enough.
We need to move on. It's hard to do this with some inaccuracies. Let's move on with the presentation on EMS.
Like I said, we were basing the 26 numbers on the 24 to 25 and 25, and we were just projecting because we. We cut $18,000 out of the gasoline, out of the 2210s. We noticed that once we started looking at it and at the price range they were at, it was the funding we could save there. All of our EMS and vehicle parts all our frontline ambulances are in pretty good shape, and our vehicles in good shape, so we took a $5,000 reduction there. In our 3990 EMS service contract, we increased $10,000. We're in the midst of changing the heart monitors that they carry, and those heart monitors used to be $45,000, now they're $75,000, so we're looking at leasing them instead on a lease payment.
Can I go back to what I believe is 2210, vehicle operation and maintenance? That's where you pulled the fuel from?
That's the gasoline for the ambulances. They run on gas.
Yeah, so, but gas isn't necessarily going down.
When I went through the numbers and started looking at it, our usage, it was.
Less calls?
Yes. Not less calls, it's just I think it was, when we looked at the numbers, and, because when I looked at, in the 24 budget, I went through the diesel and gas on the fire side.
Sure.
And it was underfunded there, but when I went through this again this year and I got those numbers, there was some savings there that we could save.
The same amount of calls?
Yes.
But you over budgeted prior?
Yes.
Okay. Please proceed.
Mr. President?
Mr.
Oh,
Ingram.
were you done? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
2211 then, diesel, there's nothing,
There's no diesel, we have no diesel, that's why there's nothing in that account, because there's no EMS vehicles that run on diesel.
okay,
They're all gas.
gotcha. Thank you.
So, any other questions on EMS?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Purcell?
I noticed that there's intergovernmental charges again, and I've talked about this when it comes to our RP&L and our sanitary district. But I will talk a little bit more vehemently here because EMS already gives back to the city tremendously in that it buys capital equipment for the fireside. It subsidizes the fireside capital-wise, and that's by design under the model we're operating under. But I will not support continuing to take on top of the help and the finances that's already being given to the fireside and the city, of course, accordingly, and that we're freeing up all capital money for the police department, et cetera, and more cars, et cetera. I would like to see that 223,000 go to, once again, some type of a program to help give bonuses to our paramedics and to keep our people in the Richmond Fire Department here in our city.
I went back to the last three budgets, and it's been 200,000 for
Yep.
at least more than 3 years I could go back to.
Yep, that's not.
And this year it went up
Yep.
another 23,000, so I have
Yep.
questions on that. And I've asked, I asked her what it was for, and that was, the answer was that they charge for our EMS program.
Our,
The intergovernmentals is set up for departments outside of the general fund to help support purchasing, accounts payables, accounts receivables, the clerk's office, everything that we handle throughout the city, it needs some support. So all the departments that are outside of the general fund contribute to the intergovernmental charges. All the amounts are different, and it's based on some percentages that was set long before my time, and they've just never changed. I believe EMS has had their intergovernmentals for a minimum of, I want to say 4 years.
I went back 3 years, I could go back on the NA, and then I looked in the office, and the last 4 budgets I could find had it in there, so I don't, past that, I don't know where it started.
And it's always been the same amount, it's not changed.
And also our EMS fund, where there is interest, we draw off that, which is also put back into our capital money.
So a question on that then, Tracy. Why not general fund for the parks instead of taking from the pension?
Parks can have they contribute to intergovernmentals also. The 2204 account, which is the main account, they do have intergovernmental.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
which of these departments pays for over $1 million a year of equipment for the city of Richmond?
I couldn't give you those numbers because I don't have them in front of me.
No one. That's the point. The fire department pays for all capital equipment for the fire department, period. And to me, that's double dipping, when you take $200,000 in intergovernmental charges on top of that. And
would that be?
especially when we've got,
Mr. Chairman, you want centralized purchasing, and it's what we have. We have a purchasing director. We have one accounts payable clerk for the whole city, one accounts receivable clerk for the whole city, one purchasing director for the entire city, one controller for the whole city, one deputy controller for the whole city, and this is how these things are funded.
Right.
Otherwise, it would cost the fire department, EMS, a lot more to have their own controller purchasing payable and receivable. This makes sense.
Thank you for that. Why don't we take a 10-minute break? We are resuming after our break, and right now we're going to ask Fire to proceed with the rest of their presentation, and then from there we'll have one more presentation, and then we are going to suspend the rest of the meeting and resume tomorrow night in hopes that we can fix some of these inaccuracies.
I assume we're starting in our EMS, our 4,000 accounts, which is replaced. My 4436 account is what is our motor equipment fund, and then it's what we purchase capital improvement equipment. And I've put in for ask of $1.35 million. That's a reboxed ambulance and a power cot for $235,000. And we used the last specs of our last engine purchase, which was engine 5, and we've met with the company. And to purchase that engine today, at today's cost, was $975,000. Another equipment, just the way it sits. Build time between 18 and 32 months. Right. So why I'm asking for that engine is because our current engine one, what we do is, we've done it, is most of our engines are on a 15-year front line, on the frontline service, and in the last 5 years, they go into a standby service. Right now, my engine one is a 2019, and it's not gonna last 15 years. I think if we get 10 years out of it as a front line, it's gonna be pushing it. It's already starting to break down, repairs on it. And we would like, and it's a heavy rescue, so we can kind of use that as a standby, because it has a pump on it, but also put our heavy rescue equipment on it and can be responded as a rescue apparatus, but it will not be a day-to-day apparatus. The other reason I'm looking to move it to a standby is because currently I have a 2006 Pierce that is rifted out, next year is gone. Mechanics told us there's no more time to repair it. It's got 20 years of service, and it's at the end of its life cycle. So that leaves me with a 2009 Spartan pumper, and I have a 2023 Fouts Brother. Those are my two standby vehicles. By doing the math, it takes 3 years to get one. The 2009 will be at the end of its life cycle as well, which will leave us with one operating standby. And we also got to start looking at the rotation of our front line, just so we can spread them out a little bit too, because we bought one in 17, two in 17, one in 19, one in 21, and 2 engines in 24. So, and like I said, if you do the math of a 15-year front line, and like I said, engine one at its current rate of decay and what we're going through, it's not going to last that long. And so that's why they ask out of the EMS fund or out of our budget is for $1 million engine. And even if we order it next year, it probably won't get here till sometime in 28 or maybe even 29. It's just the world that we're living in.
So if I'm following you, we're buying a fire vehicle out of EMS?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. And the Reeboks ambulance, because we've streamlined our ambulances purchase. Basically, in 24, I bought a new ambulance. In 25, I had a Reeboks done. In 26, we've already ordered it for 26. Will be delivered in 26 out of 25 money. And we have engine 6, our squad 6 is currently in that rotation for, we can take the box off of it, put it on a new chassis, and get another 8 years of life out of it. The chassis's got 225,000 miles on it currently, and it's in a reserve roll. But the box is salvaged. It's a good box. And we can take that and move it over to a new truck for around 180 to 185,000 at last year's cost. And that's kind of become a more popular way to extend the life of these ambulances, because a new ambulance, they're getting close to $300,000 for a new one. That's out of the 4436, my motor equipment, 205 EMS fund.
Any questions on EMS?
Mr. Chairman, give me a moment, if you would, please. I want to make sure I understand this. So for vehicles fire, we're spending 1.235?
That's with the Reeboks ambulance and the power cot. That's the total budget. The ambulance itself is $1 million. I mean, I budgeted
That is for not just the fire vehicle, and then other equipment?
That's out of the 4490.
Right, which is then 670,000.
Right, but that's the equipment for the new pumper, if we get it, that's going to come out of that kind of account. A new extrication equipment. Since we've hired so many people over the last 2 years, they came to me and said, because we're on 16 new sets a year of rotation of turnout gear. With all the hires we've got to do 2 years of 20. So I'm asking for 20 sets next year, and the 20 sets will be in 27 to get back to the 16 on rotation. And that's all your firefighter boots, hoods, gloves, our hose replacement, SCB bottles replacement. That's on a 10 bottles every year. That's almost $13,000 every year we spend on bottle replacement.
Is there a policy if they don't stay for a certain amount of time, they have to pay back their turnout gear?
No, the turnout gear gets turned in, and it also gets, the new hires come in, we take the turnout gear, we take the name off the back.
So it's not custom to that fit?
It's a certain size. Hopefully we can find the gear that's fits them as good as we possibly can. So we get the service life out of it. And that's why we said, because every employee gets 2 sets of turnout gear. So we have 140 sets basically in rotation.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Purcell?
in doing some talking and checking with people, that might be something you look at, because now firefighters that are hired are having to pay back for their full turnouts, et cetera, when they leave,
Yeah.
because of the custom fit aspect of
Yeah.
it.
And we can definitely, that's something we can definitely look at.
Look at, I think.
So, but I know we do recycle a lot of the gear to the guys, and we just take the names off, because we've even thought about having Velcro names put on them, so that way, when they retire, the name comes off, they can keep it, and we can just put a new name on it. I mean, when you've had as much turnover we've had over the last 4 or 5 years, it's kind of,
Gotcha.
I'm not laughing, but we kind of look like, maybe we can save money just by putting Velcro on them, kind of thing.
So, Mr. Purcell, did you have a question?
But also, as far as finished, our Class 2 harnesses, replacement, bailout kits, was all these things.
No, I understand now.
There's a whole lot of,
No, I know. I just.
it's hard to take
the
all
amount.
of it and put it into one
Yep,
count.
Okay.
looks good.
Do we, any other questions before we move on to hazmat? All right, please proceed to hazmat.
Hazmat, only thing we put was $4,000, what we bring in to spend out of hazmat. We've been, some money we can pull out of if we have extra money or something that we'd have to have, we can pull it out of the 4490 as equipment. But right now, everything's pretty much up to date, except for, I think, a couple monitors that we need to have, which is for hazmat and confined space.
Any questions for hazmat before we move on to CCD? Please proceed to CCD.
The only CCD I was asked for was, we're currently on the VHF radio portable system throughout the city. We own our own radio. So basically, we own the VHF. If we didn't own it, the state would be mandating us go to the 800 system. So we was wanting to start a 3-year process of transitioning that to the 800 system. And we're working on trying to get a grant to help pay for it, but that's with the ask of $63,000 to start putting 18 portable radios in our frontline apparatus, which is, it's $54,000 cost plus installation is what is at. But in the meantime, we've started already with all of our new frontline. We have a new 21 getting ready to come in to service. It has the updated radio already in it, because the county, as of November, December, the VHF will be done with them, and they will go to the 800 system. Our hazmat vehicle that we just replaced has a new 800 system radio in as well. So if the hazmat team is called out, they can communicate with the people there through the 800 system. We would still have to call dispatch. Dispatch had to call them. It would be, any of our new vehicles we're purchasing, we're actually updating that 800 radio and putting in the new encryption radios that they will have over as we go. We're doing it because the other part about it is the county wants us to go to the 800 system, but they don't want us to be too fast, because continuously right now, the VHF, if the 800 system goes down, we're the backup for the county, the VHF, which they still have the VHF radios, but as they break, they won't replace them. So it's a transition period. And I'm working on trying to get grants and trying to get that as well to help move that, because the total cost, maybe look it up. The bid I got to change us from VHF to 800, the new 800 system, $227,000 and $332.08. And that was in March 12th. And so you might as well say with the tariffs, add 20% to that now. So we're trying to do it over a 3-year period so we can spread it out and try to find grant money to help us do it along the way.
Any questions of the chief for CCD? Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
One final presentation. We will have finance health with Sherry.
I promise to be short and sweet. I've got the short part taken care of, especially compared to him. Good evening, Sherry Hemingway, Payroll and Benefits Administrator. So our insurance budget, our claims have been holding very steady for 2025. We've only had 2 months that actually hit 100% of budgeted, so we're doing really good there. But we are anticipating a 6.6% increase to premiums due to market trends and our stop-loss premiums. We have increased our wellness initiatives to help drive down the cost of claims, and I'm going to attribute that to why our claims are holding so well so far this year. We are anticipating a 5.2% increase to dental and 2% increase to vision due to claims experience. So those are both fully funded, and we've had a lot, like 120% of what the expected claims have been, so they're increasing that on us a little bit. We currently have 696 bodies covered on the plan, 304 employees, 73 retirees, and 319 dependents. I'll entertain any questions.
What questions do we have for Sherry?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Ingram?
you said 696 bodies on the, how many employees?
304 employees.
And what were the other numbers?
73 retirees and 319 dependents.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Went fast through it.
Any other questions for Sherry? Thank you.
Thank you.
So this will conclude our meeting. We will adjourn tomorrow night, hearing from sanitation, public operations, infrastructure and development, and strategic initiatives. Entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.